What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recalf, and let's get some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. It's here, the Heresy is My Therapy Slapchop tutorials, and we are continuing with faction focus, specifically Kroot, for the next few episodes. And what better way to carry on with some Kroot Hounds? You ain't nothing but a... Yes, yes, we're going to get some Kroot Hounds painted in today's episode. A real quick and easy slapchop tutorial for you today. As always, everything you need will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's get to it. Rightio, so we have our Kroot Hound good to go. So this guy, like I say, quick and easy. We're going to start off with our Rhinox hide. We're going to use our usual 4-tier slapchop basing system, and then we're going to use Skeleton Horde as a baseline, and then we're going to apply Plague Bearer Flesh. That's going to be our sort of tone for today. So first things first, as always, we've got our array of brushes, we've got our wet palette, and we are going to be good to go. So first things first, we need to get our Rhinox hide, and we are going to base nice and easy the whole of the Kroot Hound. Okay. So basically, we've got our Rhinox hide, and all we're going to do is just thin layer all over the model. As you can see, this is on very thin over the whole model, nothing wild. Okay, until it's done. I'll probably do Duncan Roads 2 thin coats. So we have now placed in our Rhinox hide. That's all done. So there's a few things we need to do. Obviously we've got our Mechanicus Standard Grey, our Administratum Grey, Orthran Grey, our White Scar, and as always we're going to use our Army Painter Masterclass Moderate Dry Brush, our Citadel Small Dry Brush. There's something we need to start adding into between each dry brush, and that is just a large dry brush, just to kind of brush away any of the sort of old dusty dust parts that the dry brush brings up. Remember, as always with this, you've either got a texture palette or a bit of good old-fashioned kitchen roll, which is what I like to use. So as always, we're going to go as we did with our previous ones. We are now going to Mechanicus Standard Grey, and as always, place on the brush, grab our tissue, take it all off, like so, and all we're going to do, just small circles all over the model until we get a nice textured effect. If we need to, we use the small dry brush to get into the smaller areas inside. Mechanicus Standard Grey applied. It's now time to apply our Administratum Grey. Again, quick shake, dabble on, take it all off, small circles out. Same again, small circles all over the model. Okay, we're not being neat, just all over the model, like so. Probably do 2 layers of that. Okay. Okay, Administratum Grey applied. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large dry brush, I'm going to very quickly just clean up the residue of any sort of excess, sort of like dust from the dry brush kicked up. It just keeps the model clean throughout, something I've picked up on recently. Okay, there we go. Done and done. Okay, so now we're going to really pick out some of the highlights of the model, and we're going to use our all-round grey. Same again, shake it up, plenty on, and then take it all off, just as we've been doing before. No difference whatsoever. And again, we're just keeping with the top of the model now. Okay, no need to under too much. We're now just really picking out where the light is falling on the model. And again, you're going to want to build up the brightness of this. Okay, so I'll probably give it one of these again with the large dry brush, and then go over it again with the smaller dry brush. Remember, we want to be going a lot lighter than we think we need to with this. Okay, so again, just one more with my big dry brush, and then I'm going to go over it again with my smaller dry brush. Okay, and as you can see, we're just building up that layer into the model. All-round grey applied, and once again, back to my large dry brush, and just give that a quick brush off, and you'll see that that does clean it up quite nicely. Okay, finally, white scar, small dry brush. Okay, again, quick shake, white scar, plenty on. You know the routine, take it all off, take it all off, and then small circles just over, small circles just completely over where the light would be catching. Okay, so we're just going over the top of the model. If we need to, place it under a light source and just follow that over like so. Okay, and again, build up as you feel you require. White scar applied, and all we're doing, we're just taking off just all the excess as we did before. Okay, done. Let's get straight into it. Okay, we're going to need our Lamium medium as always, and we're going to get our skeleton horde. We're going to apply a skeleton horde over the entirety of the model outside of his spikes, but otherwise his face, the whole lot. So we're going to get a 50-50 of Lamium medium and skeleton horde. Okay, simple enough. So wet palette, get our skeleton horde on, plenty on there, plenty on there. Dry it off, and then a nice little mix of Lamium medium. Okay, and all we're doing, again, nothing neat, easy enough, over the model, we're just applying that Lamium medium. All this does is just adds a little extra to the model. Okay, a little extra highlight underneath all of the tones. Okay, so I'll probably do 2 thin layers of this all over the model. Okay, so Lamium medium and the skeleton horde applied. I've gone a little bit heavier with the beak. So now what we're going to do, as I'm going to use the Plague Bearer flesh, and then we'll use other contrast paints. Oh, it's fresh out the pot, this. So again, we're going to do a little bit of Alamian medium mix. There's a bit of Alamian on there. We're just going to add that Plague Bearer on there. The great thing about the Kroot, as we watched in our previous video, there's just so many ways you can apply these sort of neutral paints, these greens and browns and lighter tones. But all we're doing is with this one, we're just going over those areas. So we're identifying all the skin on the model. We're just going over it. Nice and easy. Again, we're not letting it pull. Just placing in and not quite going over the beak. Just up to it. Alright, now again, you can go as thick or as thin as you like with this, depending on the sort of coloration that you want for your Kroot Hound. Me, I might do two, maybe 3 layers of this as it's thinned out. It's thinned out, and we can always build on it. Remember, we can always build with the colour. Okay, but for the time being, just nice and smooth, nice and thin. Okay. So we've put a few layers in there. As you can see, we've got a nice green effect going on. And now we're just going to get some Aggron earth. This is the kind of deserty theme that I'm giving my Kroot at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my basing now. This way, that when I've done all the other bits and pieces, this should be dry, and I can apply the bits that I need to apply for it. So again, I'm just placing this on here, nice and not sparingly, just getting it on the base, applying it pretty thickly so I can get some nice good cracks on it, and that will hopefully dry quite nicely. We don't want to mix this up with water too much, because it will just take forever to dry. Alright. So my base has been added in. Now I'm going to add a little bit of texture now into the model. So what I want to do is I'm going to get some camo creed, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to place camo creed. Did I even show you camo creed? There you are, a bit of camo creed. Too easy. Camo creed into the mix. So into that mix I had before of the Pox Walker, whatever it's called, I'm just going to kind of add that into there. And again, I'm going to thin that down with a little bit of Alamian medium. Take a fair bit off. And all I'm going to start to do is just in the shadows, in the recesses, let's just start to add those in there. Okay, again, and if it goes over the top, it's no issue at all. Okay, this is a really thin layer, just going over the top. And if you want to make it darker in some areas, you absolutely can do. But for the time being, all we're doing is just applying a very thin layer just over the top, and it's super thin. But you'll just start to see it forming in all the creases, just giving the model a little bit more depth. Alright, so just go over this, again, nice and thin, and if you want to build it up, you absolutely can build this up. Alright, so it's now time for the spikes on the model. I have mine sort of way. I've got Blood Angels red, Shyish purple, and Black Templar. And this is the same again. We're just literally add it down. Again, a little bit of the old Alamian medium onto my wet palette, Give it a bit of a shake, the Blood Angel's red. Get it into that lambing medium. And again, just along the top part. And just getting it all done there. Okay. Again, this is my way. This is what I want to do. For the sort of common theme across the army, like a red and purple for their spikes. You can do it however you want to do it. Okay. Again, a couple of layers. Nothing wild. Blood Angel's red applied. It's now time to apply the Shyish purple. And same again. We just grab our lambing medium. And we add in our Shyish purple. And same again, it's a bit more damper. And we just go into the middle of the stems, almost to the bottom. And you can always kind of go into the red itself as well. It will mix quite nicely, and that's what we really want to do. A nice purpley red hue in amongst it all. Okay. Same again both sides. This does not need to be neat. It is designed to be rather messy, so that you can just kind of see the transition, the tone between the two. Okay. Nice and simple. As always. Nothing wild. Just in whatever style you want. Right, next part, Black Templar. Again, this needs to be thinned out with a bit of lambing medium. You do not want to apply some too thick because again it's quite a heavy colour. Alright, and all we're doing is just going along the bottom, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Okay, along the bottom, into the middles, just to break it up quite nicely. Again, easy as that. Boosh. Onto the good part. Well, while we're here, as you can see, the base has dried quite nicely. So now all we're going to do with that is we're just going to apply good old-fashioned liquid talent, Agrax Earthshade, rather not sparingly, but definitely not watered down too much. Again, we want this to dry quite quickly. So, Agrax Earthshade, just into the base, because we're going to Xandri dust it all over in just a second. Right folks, it's time for the magic. Xandri dust onto the model, and again this will just take the very obvious slap chop look off it and just turn it into that a little bit more refined looking model. So again, we've got it off our on a paintbrush. We're taking it all off. All we're doing is just nice and light all over the model. Places like the beak, you can go a little bit harder with, depending on how you want to do the leather work. You can go a little bit harder, but again, over the model, just nice and easy. Don't press into it too hard, just nice and light, all over the model. Okay, and then you just work your way onto the base, around the feet, around the eyes, and you can press harder, like I say, on the beak, if it will. But again, I'm not pushing hard. This is just feather touch, all over the model. Okay, feathered touch, all over the model. All right, there we are. As you can see, Xandri just applied, and that's really just changed the model. So what I would like to do though is I just want to change the leather on the pouch a little bit. So I'm going to get my Cygor Brown, and I'm just going to apply almost like a bit of a wash over that leather work again. So again, a really thin layer. It's just for my own thing really, but again, a really, really thin layer. And we're just going to apply that over the top. I just want a bit of a lighter tone to it. And that Xandri dust has definitely helped it. So again, we're just ever so lightly, nice and light over that leather. It hasn't changed it too much, but just enough for it to a bit more of a tan look, as you could say, while still maintaining those highlights. So yeah, that's better. Next, all we're going to do for the eyes, really easy. We're just going to grab some Blood Angels Red, shake it up, put it into our old mix that we had earlier, into the old mix, bit of Lamian medium again, just in here, and all we're going to do is we're just going to pop this around the eyes. Okay, doesn't have to be neat, literally just in the eye socket area, just like so. If it's not enough, we just add a bit more. Okay, like I say, all we're doing is just around the eyes, just to give it a bit of a reddish hue around the eyes. Done. Cool. Almost there. It's time for the silver. Bit of Iron Warriors. And all we're doing is, again, small brush, Iron Warriors, just on the bracelet area. It's always tag leash thing, I suppose it would be. Tag leash. Some of his little rings on his spikes. And the sort of pendant just to the side. Okay, and then there's a few more. So wherever you feel that you want to add them in there, just pop them in. Easy as that. Yeah, his little band on his leg. Yeah, easy. And yeah, that's about it really. Cool. Non-oil time. Yep, non-oil. Same again, non-oil. Into those silver areas. Straight from the lid. Too easy. Straight from there. Into those little areas. Too easy. Alright. If you want to keep it as that as it done, then that'll be it done. If not, you're going to grab yourself some Stormhost Silver, and just nice and easily with your Stormhost Silver, just add a few little highlights to those bits and pieces. Super easy. Right, let's skip to the part where he's all based. And here he is, all done, quick as you like. I've done a couple of, I've done another one over here, So he's a bit more of a lighter green, but again, we've got those tones, you know, two very different sort of like skin tones, but again, the same sort of theme. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is part 2 of our faction focus, Kroot Hounds, done. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. As always, hit that subscribe button for more videos to come. See you next one, guys. Bye bye.